Okay, who do we have in front of us? Is that Mr. McDonald?
It is, Judge. Are you able to hear me?
Okay, let me just confirm.
Judge,
Um,
are you able to hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
Yes.
good. I want to make sure of that. All right, good.
All right, Attorney Lewis. I have one, two, three counts. Is that correct?
That's what I'm seeing. All same charge.
Uh, yes, all the same
Yes.
charges.
All
Yes.
right. Yes,
All
ma'am.
right,
That's
now
what I'm seeing.
calling the matter of Kulan McDonough charged in warrant number 2025 CW 70073 terroristic threats, 2025 CW 70074 terroristic threats, and 2025 CW 70075 terroristic threats. Representing the state of Wait, ADA Thomas is not back.
I'm here, Judge.
Oh, there. Okay, all righty. Representing the state is ADA Thomas. Representing the defendant is Attorney Craig Lewis. Your witness, ADA Thomas.
Yes, Your Honor. Officer Middleton, you can turn your video and your audio back on.
I'm not sure what's happening with my video. I don't think it's.
Yeah, she may need to log off and log back on.
It looks like
She just has it blurred.
Also, did you see it blur on your video for some, by any chance?
Go into the settings now to see.
Or is there something covering up your camera?
Yeah, it looks like the camera may be turned backwards.
Yeah.
Like it's aimed at the dashboard, I believe. Because when she moved it, I could see the camera move.
Also, are you on your laptop in the patrol car?
I'm not in the patrol car. I'm in the watch office, but I am on my laptop.
And so there's a little thing at the top. You may need to open up your camera.
Because we can hear you fine, just can't see you.
All right.
Now, Your Honor, the officer is here for the last hearing that I know of today, which would be Mr. Manettis's case. So if the court wishes, we can hold this one and just do his and come back. Please resolve the issues.
Okay. Officer Middleton, you think you need a little bit more time?
Yeah, I've never had this issue, so I got to see how I can, I guess, flip the camera if it's backwards.
Let me ask you, are you able to locate another laptop or what have you since you're in the watch office? You might just need to log on a different computer.
I can you see me now?
Nope.
No.
It's still blurred.
Okay, I can try to log on from the desktop here.
Okay.
And so,
actually,
okay,
there's no camera on this desktop, so that's not gonna work. Okay,
but we can see you now. Wait a minute.
That's what I was figuring. It's upside down or something. Because when you lifted it up, we could see.
Okay. Can you see? Okay. Wait.
That's really weird.
All right. Let me take it off.
And while we're discussing that, for David Robinson.
Are you live already, Judge?
Now, lift your camera.
Yeah, you just got to lift it. I just have a question about Robinson, position number 58. It's only one charge, and that's a misdemeanor. What are we missing something?
Second, Your Honor, let me scroll down to that.
Yes, Judge. I was puzzled by that too, because online there is a felony allegation, but there's no online under that warrant number. There's no hearing set, and this is just an accompanying also warrant of the same set of facts. And then I
assume it's the $100 bond set. It's just a misdemeanor, but there's another count that's not on this counter, which I believe is what Mr. Manettis is referring to. I don't know what the status of the other count, but the other count is 2024 CW 74177, and that's possession of a Schedule II substance, in this case, oxycodone. I have the warrant, it's just not on the calendar.
And he's been waiting quite some time to have this hearing, and it's the same officer, same arrest. So I just assume that, we can just do it.
Yes. Are you prepared to do that, ADA Thomas?
Yes, ma'am, I have a warrant. I don't know why it's not showing on the calendar.
Okay, we can move forward on that one. All right. So just hold tight. Did the officer get on?
She turned off her camera, Your Honor, so I'm not sure if she's still searching or not, but I know Officer Williams is here and I believe he's ready.
All right, wait, Officer Middleton, are you ready? Because her camera was on.
It was.
I'm just trying not to keep shuffling these inmates.
Yeah, the camera is not flipping, but I can detach this screen and just turn it around. Just give me 1 second.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, there we are. So we don't see your face.
Can you now?
You
I don't
gotta
see
turn it
your face.
around.
Yeah,
And pull.
you gotta keep turning it.
It's not gonna let me keep turning it.
Because we saw your face. I saw half of your face when you originally picked it up.
Okay, wait.
There you go.
There you are.
There you are. All right. All righty. ADA Thomas, go ahead. I've already called the case. You can go ahead and proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Officer, could you please raise your right hand? Move it. There you go. Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the evidence you shall give before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Put your hand down and state your name for the record.
Officer Jidge Middleton.
And Officer Middleton, how are you employed?
I'm sorry, say that again, please.
How are you employed?
I'm employed with Clayton County Police Department.
Were you so employed on or about the 8th day of January 2025?
Yes.
Did you have occasion to investigate an incident that occurred at 1806 South Lake Cove Court?
Yes.
And is that in the city of Jonesboro, Clayton County?
It is.
What caused you to investigate an incident at that location?
I received a call through dispatch. It came through to the watch office, and I spoke with a Miss Alexis' office about receiving threats to her phone.
And did she indicate to you who those threats were coming from?
Yes, from her child's father, Mr. Quolam McDonald.
Okay. Now, after hearing that from the victim, what did you do, if anything?
So I had the victim explain what threats were being sent to her phone, as well as send those threatening text messages to my email address.
Did she do that?
She did.
Now, at the time, were you at the scene or were you at the watch office?
I was at the watch office.
Okay. So you didn't have direct physical contact with the victim at that time?
I did not.
Okay.
Judge, can we pause for just a second? I'm getting something that sounds like some kind of mechanical sound coming through.
Yes.
Is the court hearing the same
I'm
thing?
assuming Officer Middleton.
Yes.
Yeah, I figured it was. So I can't mute her, but is there any way you can prevent that from happening?
Give me a second. Let me see.
But keep going while you're doing that. We got to get through this hearing. Go ahead.
That's my MCT. I have to give me 1 second. Let's see if I can log out of there. Okay.
Go ahead, Madam Prosecutor.
Ready, officer?
I'm ready.
Okay, fine. Now, after talking with the victims in this case, what did you do, if anything? No, I'm sorry, back up. You spoke with the victim. She sent you some emails, correct?
Correct.
Were you able to read those emails?
Yes.
And the content was what?
She sent me text messages sent from her child's father, Mr. McDonald, stating that he was going to kill everyone in her house. The text messages stated her, the child they share, as well as her boyfriend.
Now, how do you know, or how did she know that the text messages were from the defendant?
Can you repeat that for me?
How did she know that they were from the defendant, Mr. McDonald?
They were having conversation back and forth about the child in which they share. And it appeared that he was stating to her that he was upset that she had another man around their child.
Did she indicate to you how she could identify that the person that she was receiving the text from were in fact Mr. McDonald?
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I said was in fact Mr. McDonald. How does she know it was specifically him?
She just stated that that was his telephone number that he's been communicating and calling her from.
Did she indicate to you about how long she's been receiving calls and or texts from that number that she assumed are from him?
She stated that she was receiving the text messages from, I believe, January 7th and January 8th of 2025. She stated that her boyfriend, Mr. Branch, was receiving as well threatening text messages from the same number dating back to December of 2024.
Do you know how the defendant would have gotten Mr. Branch's number?
No, I don't.
She didn't clarify that?
No, she didn't.
Did you talk to Mr. Branch?
I did.
And what did he indicate?
He just indicated that he received the same threatening messages, that Mr. McDonald was threatening to kill him. He stated that he just wanted to press charges against him. He didn't state how Mr. McDonald got his telephone number.
Were the messages that the victims were receiving, were they coming from the same number that you know of?
I believe so.
Were you able to get that number from the victim?
I was.
Were you able to do any type of investigation or research on that regarding that number?
I did not.
So you didn't do I think it's a reverse trace to see whose number that was assigned to?
No, I did not.
Okay, and can you explain to the court what happened after you spoke to the victim, Ms. Office, and Mr. Branch?
Yeah, so after I received the text messages via email and reviewed the text messages, based on the verbiage that was text to both victims, I then went to get warrants for Mr. McDonald.
Have you ever seen Mr. McDonald?
When I ran his information through MCT via NCIC, I saw a picture of him.
And how were you able to obtain information about him?
As far as his name and date of birth, are you asking?
Yes, all that.
From his child's mother, the victim.
So she had his date of birth?
She did.
What other information was she able to provide regarding this matter?
She provided his first and last name, his date of birth, and I believe she did provide an address for him.
Did she indicate whether or not he had permission to communicate the information that was sent to them in this manner?
Can you repeat that?
Did she indicate, she or Mr. Branch, did this defendant have their permission to do this, to threaten them?
No, she did not.
Okay. Now, you specifically mentioned one threat in your incident report. Do you recall that?
One threat, where
There's
he said,
two
one of you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I recall there was one threat where it said every one of you are gonna die, I promise. I believe that was the verbiage.
Do you recall anything starting with when I come in that?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear her question. Repeat that. Judge, can you ever repeat that again, please?
Please repeat.
Do you recall a statement in your report regarding when I come in that?
Okay, objection, leading.
Say that again, ADA Thomas.
Yeah, I'm going to rephrase my question. I can be a little bit
Please.
clearer with it. First,
All right.
officer, can you review your report for a second? Your Honor, may she be allowed to do that?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Okay.
Now, in the middle of your report, do you see something that starts with when I come?
Yes, that was I quoted a verbiage from a text message that was from the defendant.
Okay. And what was that quote? Can you advise the court what he said?
Yeah, when I come in that MF and kill everybody, just know it's your fault. That's you, the baby, and the nigga.
And that's a text message or a portion of a text message that was sent to whom?
That was sent to the victim.
Would that be Miss Office or Mr. Branch?
Miss Office.
And who lives in the location with the victim, Miss Office?
Her child as well as her boyfriend, Mr. Branch.
And is Mr. Donald the father of the child?
Can you repeat that?
Is Mr. Donald the father of the child?
Yes.
And do you happen to know about how old the child is?
I don't recall how old the child is.
Is the child older than 5?
No.
Okay. Younger or older?
Younger, I believe.
Okay. And they all live at the address that you previously indicated the incident happened at?
Correct.
No, 1 second, just need to make sure.
All right.
Now, do you recall how many text messages of this nature that Miss Office received?
I don't.
You submitted 3 warrants. All of them are for terroristic threats, correct?
Correct.
And what was the basis of each warrant? There are 3 of the 3, I should say.
You said what was the basis of each threat?
Yes. Let me change that. Who were the victims listed on the warrants?
So Miss Office was one victim. The child in which they share is the second victim, and the third victim is her boyfriend, Mr. Branch.
And from your review of the messages sent to you, were all 3 of those individuals listed?
Yes.
Okay.
Excuse me. Wait when you're done.
Last question. At some point in time, did Miss Office live with Mr. McDonald?
I don't recall if she communicated if they lived together.
But they definitely share a child together?
They do.
Okay. And I believe that's all I have at this time. Reserve right for redirect. Your Honor,
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
that's all I have of the officer. I reserve right for redirect.
All righty, go ahead, Attorney Lewis.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, allow me just a moment, please.
All right.
Give me just another second, Judge.
All right.
Judge, I have a motion before we um, before any cross-examination of this officer.
All right, go ahead.
Judge, I am. Give me just a second. I keep hitting buttons that aren't giving me what I want them to give me. Judge, I'm looking at OCGA 116.11.39.1. The common nomenclature for this particular subsection is harassing communications. Harassing communications is a misdemeanor under Georgia law. And it specifically has identified each and every statement that this witness has spoken of while testifying. I'd ask the court to look to that particular statute, Judge.
All right, give me one moment.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're talking about disorderly conduct?
No, ma'am. Let me make sure I gave you the right code section. I'm looking at OCGA 16.11.39.1.
That's disorderly conduct.
Mine says harassing communications, Judge.
That's something else.
And I have disorderly conduct also for that particular code section.
Yeah.
Hang on just a minute. Let me just verify. I'm going to pull it up again myself, Judge, just to make sure. Hold on.
Mhm. All right, I have it. Attorney Lewis.
Did I give you the right code section, Judge?
Yeah, it was. It's kind of funny.
Oh, okay. It's
But yeah, you're right. It's
okay.
39.1. Now go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So if in fact everything the officer has testified to today is in fact what happened, Judge, that is the misdemeanor offense of harassing communications. Specifically, it talks about the use of communications devices for the purposes of communicating threats.
I disagree, counsel.
You do? Okay. All right,
All right.
great.
Mhm.
Let's move on then.
All right.
All right, officer, are you
Yes,
there?
I'm here.
Okay, good deal. Um, Officer, did you at any point in time, were you informed at any point in time of a in-person threat made by the person that you swore out warrants for against a minor child?
I was not made aware of an in-person threat. No.
Okay. And then how about for I think you identified him as the boyfriend, an in-person threat in this situation made against the boyfriend.
In-person threat. No.
Okay. And how about the alleged mother of the person you arrested? Did you, in this event that you're describing, were you ever told of an in-person threat to that individual?
I was not told of an in-person threat. No.
All right, wonderful. Officer, does the minor child possess a cell phone?
I don't know.
Okay. Is it fair to say that you have not heard of any communications via text made directly to the cell phone belonging to the minor child?
Can you repeat that for me?
Yes, ma'am. Is it fair to say that you have not been informed of any communications directly made to a cell phone, computer, or other device belonging to the minor child?
No.
So the sum total of your testimony today is about threats that are made either to the cell phone belonging to the purported mother of the defendant's child or the current boyfriend of the mother of defendant's alleged child.
Correct.
All right, wonderful. And officer, um, was the purported recipient um, and the person you had arrested, were they at any point in time in their life married?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. And officer, at any point in time, have you observed any legitimization papers saying that the child is the child belonging to the defendant male that
No.
you okay. All right. So at this particular juncture, we're dealing with a child who is in fact the child of the recipient of text messages. Is that correct?
Repeat that for me, please.
Yes, ma'am. At this point in time, we're talking about text messages purportedly made to the child, to the mother of a child. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
All right. And then you also have mentioned in your testimony a text message that was made to the purported boyfriend of this mother of a child. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, officer, I heard a question from Madam Prosecutor, but I'm going to ask it to make it a little more clear for me. Um, what is the telephone number from whence the messages originated?
You said, what is the telephone number?
Yes, ma'am. What telephone number did the messages come from?
Give me 1 second to look at my report, if I may. 470-412-1737.
Repeat the last for me, please, officer.
1737.
1737. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And officer, you've been a law enforcement officer for how long?
For almost 2 years.
Okay, cool. In your law enforcement experience, have you been presented with the concept of poofing?
With the concept of what? I'm sorry.
Poofing or spoofing?
No.
Okay. So you have never heard of persons creating text messages purportedly coming from other persons?
Have I heard of text message, someone sending text
Creating,
messages?
no, ma'am. uh, creating text messages purportedly coming from others.
I'm not understanding the question.
Yes, ma'am. Creating fake text messages. You're some years younger than me, so that's I'm switching language to hopefully find something that you're familiar with. So creating fake text messages. Have you ever heard of that process?
Yeah, that can be done.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do to establish that these text messages actually originated from that telephone number and were not fake text messages?
I believe I'm trying to pull up the images here that I attached to my report. If you can give me a second. 1 second. Are you still able to see me on camera?
Yes, ma'am. I'm able to see something. And Judge, would you allow my other computer out of the waiting room, please?
Let's see here.
I'm sorry. Let me mute this.
All right, I don't see you coming in.
Does it say? Do you see an acacia in your waiting room, Judge?
Not yet. Hold on a minute.
And I said waiting room. I hope that's right.
Yeah, that's the right
Okay.
term.
Okay.
No, I don't see anybody yet trying to come through.
Okay.
No.
And can you ask your question again?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. So, what did you do to
Can you hear
prove?
me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you
hear
hear?
me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Okay.
Are you not able to hear me?
I am able to hear you. Can you hear me? Judge, are you able to hear me?
I can hear you just
All
fine.
right. Okay, cool. Then she just can't hear.
Hello.
Hey,
Sir,
can you hear me
Lieutenant
now?
Martin, how are you?
I'm good.
Oh, man.
Okay,
I'm-
Littleton, I need you to do something with all that noise,
Find out
that
where you
background
are.
noise.
I'm on the terminal. I'm on in
She's
court as well.
communicating with someone
sorry.
else. There.
One
Is
moment.
there,
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you
I
hear
can't hear
us?
anyone speaking.
okay, now you're in the waiting room. I just let you in. Turn it loose.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
Hold on.
They
Take
have that
one
area
moment.
where it seems like
We
May I
can't have
suggest that we,
noise.
recess,
but that's
Judge,
got
so
that
because
must be
that's
the
coming from
tower or
her,
something
Yes.
area.
and take us off of the